everyone, it's Rachel at Cozy Corner Crochet. Well, today's video, I think I'm just going to title it Updates, because I have a lot of updates. Haven't had a lot of time to crochet this week, so I don't think I have one finished object to show you. But I have, like I said, a lot of updates. First thing I want to talk about are some acquisitions that I made. So this week I bought these two little notebooks, and I have specific purposes for these. This little notebook here has just little notepads in, and it says, "Always believe something wonderful is about to happen," with hummingbirds on it. And these little this little notepad I'm going to use to make pattern notes and include it in my project bags with my patterns, so I can remember kind of where I left off and things like that. So that's the first one. And then this one, and this one has a little elastic closure over a rhinestone button there, and it's just a lined journal. And I've decided to use this for my podcast notes, so that as I'm giving my podcast, I have notes that I can follow. Normally I put them on a notebook in front of my camera, but then I feel like I'm never looking at the camera, I'm always looking at the notes. And then sometimes I try to look at the camera and forget the notes, and then I forget things, so I'm going to put my notes in here, that way I can look at them and keep a little bit more organized. So those are the only, oh no, one more acquisition was this little box, and I just love this little box. It looks like a little suitcase almost. It says "Adventure is Waiting," and I've decided that inside this little box I'm going to put my little notebook from my Jimmy Beans membership. This is another little notebook that I purchased. It was on clearance for like $1, I think, which is why I got it. And I thought, well, I might start writing patterns and putting some things in there. And then I have in here some pens and some note cards, like for little thank yous or whatever, if I'm just going to send out anything. So this is kind of like my little correspondence box, is what I'm calling it, so that I can keep all of those things in one place. And I love the little design on the box, and it was on sale, actually at Dollar General for half off, so it was a good deal. Couldn't pass it up. So those are my acquisitions. So I'm going to check my little notes here, and the first thing I want to talk about is I sent out lots of Happy Mail last week. It was great being able to watch some of the people that I sent things to open them, because they're fellow podcasters and they open their mail on camera, and it was kind of neat to watch them and see their reaction. It was like you were there and gave it to them in person, and I really liked that. So that was really neat. I sent some tea to Seta over at Seta's Place. If you don't know about Seta's Place, go over and take a look at her podcast. She is a really warm and friendly person, and she's doing something she's calling the Year of the Tea, and people are sending her all kinds of teas from all over the place, and then she's taking some of those teas, and every so often she draws some winners, and then she sends out teas to those people. So she's trying the teas herself, and she's also sharing them with others, which I thought was really neat. And I love watching her taste the teas, because then it makes me want to go try some more things and you know, see what she thinks about it. So she had a video where she was opening things, and she opened my little card with some tea bags in it. And then I sent a hat over to Billy at the Crafty Floridian, and she's doing the hat drive. She's collecting hats for an elementary school, and I think now she's trying to broaden her horizons and go to different schools to collect hats for different schools. She's making some connections now, so she's still taking donations of hats. She's already sent off a shipment to one school, so she's taking more donations, and these are for kids' hats and adult size hats she's doing for children and for teachers. So I think it's a really great cause, and she calls it Hats for Kids by YouTube Crafters, I think is what she calls their little hat drive. So if you're making hats and you have some extra, go on over to the Crafty Floridian and get her information and send out a hat to her. I sent out my giveaway package to Sue, think it was Marco from Michigan, and she got the 2 skeins of Lion Brand Hometown USA yarn and the size L hook to go ahead and make her own beanies like I've been doing. And she sent me a message telling me that she received it and that she can't wait to get started to make her hat. So I was really glad to hear that she did receive it, because I didn't go on and check the tracking number. I guess I could have done that, but I didn't do that. But it was really nice to hear a little comment from her saying that she did get it and she liked it. And I also sent off a hat to one of my family members who lives in California, and she sent me a text saying that she loved it, it was adorable, and so that was kind of neat to hear that she got it. And man, the shipping was really fast. I sent them all through the post office, and I sent them Saturday of last week, and Billy opened her hat on Monday in Florida, and my cousin got her hat in California on Tuesday, and then I heard from Sue either Wednesday or Thursday that she had received hers. So I was surprised that everything shipped so quickly, especially to Florida and California in 2 days. That was amazing to me. But yeah, those were sent out, and I really enjoyed watching people open them and get those little text messages and comments saying that they enjoyed what I sent them. So that was nice. Next thing on my list to talk about are whips, and I have quite a few. I've got a lot of things in the works, but nothing's finished. So first one I want to show you, and this isn't going to be finished for a long time, this is my temperature blanket. I told you last week that it's been going well, and I wanted to show you all of January and February finished. So this is the temperature blanket. Not sure the best way to hold, I'm just going to do this. So here's January, and then it goes all the way over this way, and then to the next row, and then all the way over to this white block, and that started February, and then you can see February, and these purples are the coldest days. So we had some pretty cold days there in February. I seem to be using a lot of turquoise and I think it's called Delft Blue. The Delft Blue is in the 20s, the turquoise is in the 30s, so we've been having lots of lows in the 20s and highs in the 30s. You can see in January there are 4 days of that. And then again, just recently, I've been using a lot of that color. This is the end of February down here, so you can see that. And then this last white square that you see is March, and then March 1st. And today's March 2nd, and so I didn't do March 2nd yet because the day's not over yet. So I do them the day after so that I have the high and the low. But I was thinking about how I'm going to show what year this was, because, you know, 15, 20 years from now, if somebody looks at this, they're going to say, well, what was that all about? So I'm thinking I might try this on each month. I was thinking about doing just like a top stitch with the abbreviation of the months, like January would be Jan, February Feb, March MAR, and then there's one extra square at the very end. When you finish the blanket, you make one white square, and I thought that last white square I could write 2019 on. So I'm thinking about doing that. I think I might make a white square just to test it out and, you know, try the top stitching, because I'm not very good at that, and see how that would work. But if anybody has any suggestions of how to get the year on there, or any thoughts about that, let me know in the comment box below. I would appreciate that. But yeah, this is the temperature blanket thus far, and it's a granny square for every day, and a white one for the start of each month. Now that's not like the first of the month, that just represents February, and then this is the first, the second, the third, and so on. So I really like the way it's looking so far. I don't know, maybe if I hold it up this way you can see more of it at one time, but it's really big because it's going to be this wide, so that's really wide. So that's my temperature blanket. Let me know what you think about the month and the years being on those white squares. I don't know what it'll look like, and I'm not sure what color to use either. But yeah, that's the temperature blanket. And I've been using these for project bags. I went to Walmart and I got these giant, they're not Ziploc brand, but these giant Space Saver bags. You can hook a vacuum cleaner to it and suction all the air out of it, but they make good project bags. So I've been using these for my big projects like blankets and the next project that I'm going to show you, which is my Jimmy Bean's Crochet Club project. Now lots of people have signed up for it and they didn't, either they didn't have room in their house for the project or they didn't really care for it, so they decided to make other things. Like Summer over at Summer's Tips and Stitches, she decided that she is making a granny squares with all of the little mini skeins, and those granny squares are beautiful. I just love them. I think that was an awesome idea and she's really excited about it, so I was glad to see that she was able to come up with an alternative idea and use the product that she did get from Jimmy Bean's, because I think in the beginning she was kind of disappointed, but now she found a purpose. So I'm going to take this out of the, and I got this little bag at Walmart. This has been kind of my project bag to hold all of my mini skeins. So when you open this up, you can see all my mini skeins are in there, and it's big enough that it holds them all that come with the order. And that little mesh bag, that Namaste bag that they sent with the Crochet Club, I've been using that to house all the ball bands. Just in case I would want them. It's kind of, there's so many colors and it's kind of hard to keep track of what color I'm on and what color I've used, especially since I'm not doing it every single day because I haven't had time. But yeah, this is like a, it's kind of a wet dry bag. This would be nice in the summertime to put swimsuits in when you go to the pool, but that's what I use it for, just a little project bag. And then I have my yarn bowl that has the yarns that I'm currently working on. But so yeah, this is my yarn bowl and it has the yarn in it. This is my hook that I've been using. And so this is what the poof looks like so far. Kind of is starting to look like a basket. It's turning up on the side. So it's supposed to get to about 12 inches high. It was supposed to be 18 inches round. Mine is measuring a little over 17 because like I said before, I think my tension is tight or something. But it's near 18 inches, so and I have a feeling this will be near 12 inches, but not quite 12 inches. So it's not a huge monster poof. I know it's called the monster poof. It's not huge, but I think it'll make a cute little ottoman. My daughter actually wants it for her room. She has a great big beanbag chair in there right now that she's looking to take out of her room, and I'm probably going to end up taking it to school to my classroom, but she wants to use the poof in place of that just for some extra seating in her bedroom. So it's coming along. Once you get the stitch, it's the same stitch over and over and over again. You're either doing a single crochet or you're doing the single crochet spike, which is like a row below, and you crochet the whole thing holding 2 strands together. So it's nice and thick. My biggest concern is going to be what I'm going to stuff this thing with. They suggest an old comforter, so I thought about, I don't think I have any old comforters lying around. I'm thinking it's probably going to be more like a twin size comforter, but so I thought about maybe going to Goodwill or the thrift store and looking for, sorry about the bag, looking for a twin size comforter to stuff it with, just so that it's nice and big, because that would take a lot of polyfill, and I think it would just squish down and it wouldn't work really well. So I'm thinking about going and getting one of those, just a twin comforter from one of the stores, like a thrift store, secondhand store, wash it up and stuff it in there. So the next thing I'm working on, this is a request from my daughter. She has her own car and she wanted a steering wheel cover. So this is what I've done so far. I just started working on it the other day. I really have, like I said, I haven't had a lot of time this week to crochet. It's been a really busy week. And so I'm just doing a little chevron. This is gonna, when it's done, should measure around 39-40 inches so that it stretches around the steering wheel. And then when you stretch it around the steering wheel, you sew it around the steering wheel so that it doesn't move back and forth, and so it's safe to drive with. The nice thing about this is that in the wintertime it keeps your hands from getting so cold from touching the really cold steering wheel. Summertime it keeps them from getting burnt touching the hot steering wheel, so it's kind of a neat thing. And she picked these two colors. Actually, this was from my temperature blanket stash, and I said, yeah, we can use this because I can run out and get more if I need to, but this color is the coldest color, and I think the coldest part of the year is probably, cross my fingers, probably over. So I didn't use very much of the orchid, so this is a good way to use up some of that. And I think the gray and purple are really pretty together. She likes those colors. So yeah, that's another thing that I've been working on. And this was a free pattern on Ravelry by Laura Jean LT3 Handmade. And I actually found it through Pinterest, and it's called Chevron Steering Wheel Cover. So if you are looking to make one, that's where you can find the pattern for it. It's really easy. It's just like the ripple stitch over and over again until you get to the length that you want, and then you just stitch them together in a circle. And then you put it over the steering wheel, and it has to be on the steering wheel. You actually sew it then to the steering wheel. So yeah, that's that. The next thing I've been working on is my Homey Sheep. And if you remember, I bought these little kits at Aldi's the last time I talked to you. I talked about these kits, and I bought this one that has all these amigurumis in it, and some of them were knit and some were crochet, and I decided I was going to make this cute little sheep because he's just cute as a button. I love him for Easter. Well, I started making him, and as I said, I haven't had a lot of time this week to do crochet, so I have done the head, and I have part of the body done. And this is the upper part of the body. This is where his head will be attached. So this is what his head looks like. Now, I think his snout is a little big. I don't know if that's the size he was supposed to be. You want to join the party, Ginge? My dog. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if this is as big as it was supposed to be. He might look a little different once I get some eyes and a nose and mouth on him and his ears. But this is his head, and this is the top part of his body. So it's getting there. I haven't spent much time at all doing this, so I know it goes pretty fast, but like I said, I haven't had a lot of time this week to do my crocheting. So that's my little sheep. And just so that I don't feel like a total failure this week, I do have one object that I finished, and this is really tiny, but I've seen people making stitch markers, and I saw this idea probably on Pinterest, knowing me, but this is a, I decided to make stitch markers because I came across these little alphabet beads, and I don't know if you can see them or not, but they're just little beads that have letters on them. And I put letters on them of the crochet hook sizes that I use a lot. So I have a J, a G, a K, an I, and an L. And so when you're working on a project and you want to stop, you put the stitch marker that has the crochet hook size that you're using for that project, and so that it doesn't unravel, and then when you come back to the project you remember what size hook it was you used. And I have actually put one in my little steering wheel cover that says H, because I did this with the size H hook, so you can see that. So I just made these, and then I came across some beads on sale at Walmart a few days later, so I did buy some beads, and I thought I'd make a few more with some cute little colored beads on them. But this is my finished object for the week. Big accomplishment. But at least it's something, right? I got something finished. So that is my finished object for the week. Some things I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about ordering I've been hearing all these people talk about mystery bags of yarn. Crystal from Bag O Day, I think she bought mill ends at one point, and they're almost like a mystery bag. But Premier occasionally sells a mystery bag of yarn, and it'll be like one type of yarn for one type of project, but it'll be like several of each skein will be in the package, and it tells you like how many ounces of yarn you get, but it doesn't show you a picture of what's going to be there, what colors or anything like that. and I thought it would be kind of neat to order one of those and do an unbagging, so to speak, in a video. So they have one right now called the Mystery Bag of Kitchen Yarn, I think. So I was thinking about that since I was doing some dishcloths and things. So I'm assuming it'll be like some scrubby yarn, some cotton yarn, and different things. I think it tells you, it might tell you the type of yarn you get and how many skeins of each, but it doesn't tell you like the colorways and, you know, anything like that. So for whatever reason my camera just shut off on me. So yeah, that's really all I had for you today anyway. So I guess that was the camera's way of saying you're done. So yeah, that's everything, and I just want to tell you, keep stitching and stay cozy. Thanks for watching. Oh, don't forget, if you haven't done so already, click that little subscribe button below. Make sure you click that bell next to it so you get a notification every time I post a new video, and hit that like button so you give me some likes out there. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. You're gonna be good? I know. No. Get down, come on.